I'm Whitney.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Deb.
We're three best friends who love nerdy things.
Well, some people think we're nerdy, but we think we're pretty awesome.
This is our nerdiest thing.
Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to our nerdiest thing. Today, we're going to be talking about what we were reading 5 years ago, which feels like 50 years ago.
It does. We've had a pandemic. Mm-hmm. We have had children born in our friend group. We have had...
It's a lot of stuff.
Kids going to college. Yeah, it's been a lot.
It's been a lot. But before we get into any of that, Deb, will you share our nerdy news?
I don't know why you say it like that.
It's our nerdy news.
There we go. The first book I want to talk about is Brimstone by Callie Hart. This is the sequel to Quicksilver. And Quicksilver was a 5-star read for me last year. It's just a really different take on magic systems, which I liked. And so that does come out today. Next, we have Red as Royal Blood by Elizabeth Hart. And this is about a servant to the royal family who doesn't understand why when the king is about to die, he names her as the next heir to the throne. So she's forced to contend with the kingdom in crisis, the dead king's angry wife that he did not leave the throne to, and
Yikes.
the 3 annoyingly handsome princes.
Oh, no.
Then, as if being newly crowned queen wasn't enough, she discovers a note left by the king that claims he was murdered and that she's next.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, it sounds really fun.
Thanks for putting her in that position then.
Yeah,
old
good
king.
job, dude. You could have hit her away or whatever. Right.
Dang.
So this next one I'm really excited about. It's called I, Medusa. This book reimagines one of the most iconic monsters in Greek mythology, Medusa, as a provocative and powerful young heroine. When she's noticed by another Olympian who just happens to be Poseidon, a drunken night between girl and god ends in violence, and her locks are transformed into snakes as punishment for a crime she did not commit. So she decides to embrace a new identity, not as a victim, but as a vigilante. And with that, the chance to write her own story as mortal, martyr, and myth.
I like
that sounds
that.
amazing.
It does. I think it
that's
sounds
really
really
cool.
cool. I love a good villain origin story.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they're not really a villain either, right?
Right. Of course,
More
it was a
morally
man
gray.
who said she did something she didn't.
Of course.
Dumbass.
It always is.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Believe women.
Was that it for the nerdy
Yeah,
news?
that's it for
awesome.
this week.
Well, all right. Let's get into the nerdy and dirty with what we're reading. And I can go first. I read an arc from NetGalley. Shout out to NetGalley. It was called Shutout. I love when sometimes that Bargetown just comes out.
Yep.
It does.
Shut Out by Avery Keelan. This is a college hockey romance with a female main character who has to move in with her brother after transferring to the same college as him. But wouldn't you know it, one of her new roommates is actually the super hot anonymous hookup she had months ago and never forgot.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What's going to happen?
I know.
Forced proximity.
Exactly. This is a steamy romance with a lot of sweetness and emotion mixed in, as one of the major storylines is that she moved to be closer to her mom while her mom undergoes cancer treatment. So if that is, going to be something triggering, then maybe don't read this book. There's also some anxiety representation, some hints at sexual assault danger, but not any actual assault. So just read with care if any of those are triggers for you. And this is actually available now on Kindle Unlimited.
Cool.
So it was good. I liked it. What about you guys? Mindy, what are you reading?
I'm reading a memoir by Bethany Joy Lenz called Dinner for Vampires, and I really think you would like it. Whitney.
One Tree Hill, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she was one of the main characters on One Tree Hill, but while they were filming, she was also in a cult. And she didn't realize she was in a cult.
Ooh.
And she ended up getting, they stole money from her.
This is a true story?
Yes. Yeah. It's insane. What I love about this book, it's great. So far, I'm really loving the story. I'm learning a lot. I think it's really... And this is a real cult. She doesn't name it... she doesn't name the actual people. She has different names for them, which, funnily enough, they're all based on, literary vampires. So, one of the guys' name is Harker, who is a character in Dracula.
Yeah.
So they're all named after... Most of them are named after famous vampires or vampires in books, which I thought was funny. So
that's cool.
Anyway, the actual cult is Michael Galeotti, and he is still running.
He's still
scams
kicking
now.
it.
Yeah, so he has some kind of haven. I can't remember what it's called. Like it feels like it should be a winery, but it's like something ranch.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's crazy, the kind of stuff, things that you wouldn't expect. Like when I think about a cult, I think about like, you know, like Kumbaya and and very like Christian and very religious.
Yeah, there's
and
usually a religious component.
A religious
Sure,
component
sure.
to it. And there is a religious component to it, but it's so weird the background. Like they live in this really dirty house, and there's other weird stuff that goes on. It's very, very intriguing. I highly recommend.
That is right up my alley.
Yeah, you would
true crime and celebrity.
You would love this book.
And you loved One Tree Hill, didn't you?
Off and on.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm reading The Good Girl Effect by Sarah Kate.
Nice.
I have to say, this book has me in a chokehold right now. and it's not even about that. At least not yet. Well, it probably will be. But I've been struggling to finish any book for months. I keep getting like 50% through a book and I'll put it to the side. So like if you're on my Goodreads right now, I've got like 8 books I'm reading.
Yeah.
But this book, I'm like dreaming about it. I'm thinking about it. I can't wait to go to bed tonight to like keep reading it. I love how it's written, and Sarah Kate is quickly just becoming a must-read author for me. So the Trope Trollop told me about this one, but then I was actually at an art show this weekend and talking to a customer, and she was telling me I should read it.
Oh,
so
really? That's
I was
funny.
like, okay, and I've loved it so far.
Side note: Sarah Kate is an amazing human being and
Is she?
super sweet and super fun. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yay.
I met her a
It's
couple
always
times.
nice when you meet authors that you've enjoyed reading and then you enjoy their company.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
that's always fun.
makes it a little better.
Yeah. Well, let's go into what we're watching. You guys will be really surprised to hear
True crime.
that I watched a true crime documentary on Netflix. This time it was The Truth About Jussie Smollett, which has a question mark in the title. Which this was really, really interesting to me. So you
Such
guys,
a weird thing.
it
happened.
really is. So you may remember this case from several years ago. I want to say like 2018, 2019. Yeah. Jussie Smollett was a rising star on the TV show Empire and said that he was attacked on the street in Chicago in a hate crime. He said that people attacked him, hung a noose around his neck, and claimed to be MAGA followers and beat him. After he reported this crime, the Chicago police claimed that he himself made up the whole thing. And he was tried in court and in the court of public opinion.
Wow.
So he maintains his innocence to this day and has the entire time. And the documentary is basically interviewing him, interviewing people around him, and interviewing police officers and detectives involved in the case to discuss why they believe he's innocent or why they believe he's guilty. So I watched the entire thing, and I'm even more confused after watching it,
Really?
But not in a bad way, not because the documentary was bad, but because all of the evidence that they show you, you can find evidence to support, yes, he made this up, or no, he was telling the truth. But no matter what you think is true, you're going to be presented with other evidence that's going to create questions that you cannot answer.
Right.
So I literally have no idea if he made this up or not, because there are just as many things to prove that he did make it up as there are things to prove that he didn't.
What was fundamentally the reason that they thought he was making it up?
They were looking for video evidence of the guys. He said he was attacked by 2 people, and they were looking at, it was like 2:00 in the morning too. So the streets are like pretty deserted. So they were looking at all these different cameras based on where he said he walked to and from, looking for the perpetrators. Right. And so the police say that they followed these people on all these different cameras down all these different streets, getting out of a taxi, getting out of an Uber, and they got the license plate of the Uber and tracked it back to allegedly 2 actors who were background actors on his show that he knew in real life. And when they questioned the brothers, these 2 guys, at first they didn't talk. And then eventually they were like, well, yeah, he paid us to do this, to like fake it.
Or they hate him and they did it.
I was about to say,
anyways.
why would they say that? Yeah.
Right. Well, and he maintains that he saw very clearly that he was attacked by 2 white men, and these brothers are not white. It's not even remotely close, right? So it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And there's also, the very end of the documentary was so interesting to me because they showed a clip of 2 men walking, the alleged perpetrators, and about half the people that they interviewed said that looks like two white men, and the other half said that looks like the two brothers.
Ooh, weird.
And so it's stuff like that where it's like, you have this evidence, but it doesn't really.
It's not good evidence.
Yes, like it doesn't
not conclusive.
Yeah, it doesn't really point you in any direct.
That's wild.
It was a crazy ride because I kept going back and forth of like, oh well, he did make it up. Wait, well, no, that doesn't make. No, he couldn't have made it up because of Blobbity Blue or what, whatever.
Right.
It was really, really good.
Blobbity Blue.
Yeah,
Wasn't he in the Mighty Ducks?
actually, I think he was.
I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. But anyway, that's what I was watching. Maybe next time it'll be not a true crime documentary on
It
Netflix.
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to
Look,
be.
you like what you like.
I know, that's true. Mindy, what are you watching?
I'm watching The Paper. On
Oh,
Peacock,
yeah.
Which this is from the creators of The Office. It's the same kind of premise. They're doing a documentary, but it's at a failing local newspaper. And it's got Domhnall Gleeson in it, who I adore.
I love
Yeah.
him.
So far, it's pretty good. We're only a few episodes in.
I've
but
seen good things about
I
it.
really like it. There's the cast of quirky
Is
characters.
it the same like mockumentary type?
Yes,
Okay.
same mockumentary type, and Oscar actually works there too.
I
So
saw that
so
too.
there is that sort of crossover.
I think it's supposed to be the same crew that filmed the
It is.
Office
It is.
people.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
is
the same-
Oscar or is he a different?
Yes, Oscar.
No, he's
is
Oscar.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Should I already have to do this for
Yeah,
He's
I've
like,
already
no,
done
thank
this.
you.
Yeah.
It's
That's
funny.
Fun.
We're enjoying it.
How fun.
Good. I'm excited to start watching it.
Well, I was unfortunately very ill a few weeks ago, and The Matrix came on TV, and damn, that movie is still so good.
It holds up. Yeah.
25 years later, right? So, of course, I had to go find the final movie in the franchise and watch it. And if you love The Matrix, Matrix Resurrections is really just one big love letter to the entire series, but still like such an amazing movie.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was like I'd never seen either of the movies, and I feel like I've watched them a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
so
that.
They do hold up really well.
Right. And there is a whole like Neo and Trinity aren't together in the later movie. And the whole time you're like, damn it, they love each other. They're soulmates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fated mates.
That's right.
Deb, will you go ahead and tell us what you're listening to?
Yes. I
Uh-oh.
am listening to The Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer Armentrout again. I listen to this book a lot when my mental health has declined. And I've listened to this book a lot this
It's
year.
a comfort listen
Right.
for you.
It's like me and the bonds that tie.
Right. But my mental health is getting better.
Yay.
Just like this book does every time I listen to it. There's so much angst in this book, and that's
Yeah.
what I love. Like
Me too.
they're kind of fake dating, right? And he is so in love with her and she is so in love with him, and they won't admit it to each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like the fact of like how much they need each other, and it is just so fucking good.
It's my favorite book in the
Me
series.
too. Me
Yeah,
too.
I
For
love
sure.
it.
Love
yeah.
that.
What are you all listening to?
Mindy, what about you?
I am listening to a band right now. This is a band that actually broke up a while ago, and they are on like a reunion tour.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a once in a lifetime thing. I actually got to see them at Bourbon and Beyond.
Oh, fun.
It's Rilo Kiley. This is they're so good. So Jenny Lewis is the front woman, the singer of it, and I love Jenny Lewis because number one, she was in True Beverly Hills, so she was a child actress.
Nice.
And then she was like, "Fuck that shit out! I'm not doing that anymore." And she joined this band, and they did all this stuff. And then she went on a so she's indie. So for an indie artist, a very successful solo career.
Sure, yeah.
So them coming back together and doing this like last reunion tour is like a once in a lifetime.
Well,
So-
you realize she's the woman in the Postal Service, right?
Yes.
Okay, so funny story about her because my husband was also at Bourbon and Beyond and was sending me video of her. We saw the Postal Service before them or Death Cab was big. It was in this super tiny club that held like 50 people. I was
Those are the
standing
best kind.
Yeah, I was standing on a chair on the back. They had a sheet hanging up on the wall that they were projecting onto.
Nice.
It was awesome. And she's like tinier than me, isn't she?
She's little.
Yeah, she's little.
So cute.
Yeah, she's so fun. I love her.
So anyway, I went to that concert, and so then I'm like stuck
Listening
on-
to it all.
Yes.
Yeah,
all
the
the time.
execution of
Nice.
all things is such a good song.
So good.
I'm over here like, I like Taylor Swift.
Look, I will say The Summer I Turned Pretty has a ton of Taylor
I've
Swift
seen
songs,
that, yeah.
And there are like choice.
I saw somebody say The Summer I Turned Pretty is to Taylor Swift the same way that Mamma Mia is to ABBA. Like, it's basically just like a Taylor Swift musical show.
They're not super wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'm still listening to Love is a War Song by Danica Nava, which I mentioned last week. And I'm really not that much further into the story because I've been reading arcs and not wanting to listen to this book and like confuse myself with what's going on in the arcs. I'm still enjoying it, but I will say that the story is set in Oklahoma on a farm. And then the narrator has everybody in Oklahoma talking like this. And I'm just like, I get it. I understand.
Just because they live there does not mean they sound like that.
I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
So I'm having a little bit of a hard time
I've had
with that.
books sometimes though where I'm like, well, switching to the physical copy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
The chapter that I just finished listening to, I think they're getting ready to start fake dating, which is interesting to me. So I'm
Will
like,
that still be good
yeah.
with this type of accent?
I don't know.
Hey there, you want to go on a fake date, Missy?
I mean, that's
the
kind
square
of
dance.
that's kind of what it sounds like. Well, that brings us to our nerdiest topic, which is what we were reading 5 years ago. And I can go ahead and get us started
Why, Whit?
because I literally wasn't reading anything 5 years
Which is
ago.
so crazy
insane
to
to
me.
me because we've always read together and we've been friends way longer than that.
I feel
Yeah.
like we've been doing this for 5 years.
I know, right? It does feel like that. I was
Feels
looking.
like a short amount of time, you guys.
I had stopped reading fiction as a habit around 2015. So that was when my oldest child was around 1. And I was still working full time and,
But
had
you
a
also
little
were
kid.
trying to
and-
excel your career too. So
Well,
you were
that's
doing
true.
a lot of work.
That's true. I was doing a lot of work. I was doing a lot of like professional books and like personal development books, which right
don't
now
kiss in those.
that makes me want to like shank myself. Like, oh my gosh, no, thank you. So what I wrote in my notes was I was really into reading personal development books instead of fiction because I was an idiot. So fast forward, those 5 years to 2020, I had a kindergartner and a 1-year-old baby and really had a hard time postpartum with my youngest.
I
And-
didn't read when my kids were that age.
well,
didn't either.
and then COVID happened, and I was at home with
With your kids
with a
all the
kindergartner doing school on the computer, and
Right.
with a 1-year-old, and with a husband who was working literally from like 8 to 5 or 8 to 6.
And you know what? Because people will be like, well, why didn't you read in bed? Because you are so mentally exhausted
Yeah.
after that.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't.
thanks.
I
Right.
wasn't reading. If I had any time, I was laying down and
Right.
sleeping, or laying down and watching
I
The
didn't
Office.
have
Right.
the brain power to
Right.
to add anything else
yeah,
either.
definitely not.
Yeah.
So
I get that. I mean, I was at that point too, but you're a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
You're a lot younger than me. But so that's you were just in that different time,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the only books that I was reading in 2020 were the ones that I was reading to my kids. And I was so close to putting together a list of the books that I was reading. And then I was like, then I was thinking that'll just make me cry because I don't read those books to my kids because they're older now.
Yeah.
So then I didn't do that to myself. So I wasn't reading in 2020. I got back into reading again in 2021, which is when I read the ACOTAR series, and that sparked my love for reading again. And I was looking back on my Goodreads. I didn't even start tracking what I was reading until 2022.
Oh wow.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Did we start the podcast at the end of 22 or 23?
I think it was 22.
Yeah.
Huh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was 22.
Look at us, just
Look
helping
at
you
us
out.
go. Look at
How
us
far
go.
we've come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel better, in 2020, I only read 9 books, right?
Really?
Yeah. Granted, 3 of them were Outlander books. So they should count.
Those count
2
as,
or 3
like,
Are you
books.
yeah.
sure you didn't read more and just didn't put it on Goodreads?
Have you met me? I don't read shit unless I can track it.
2020 was a weird time though, so it is
was.
possible.
Yeah.
It was. And again, my kids were home. I had a 7th grader and a 3rd grader. Yeah. So, I mean, we were doing a lot,
Yeah.
right? And we lived in a super tiny house at the time, and like you could not get away from people. So it's insane. So I read 9 books in 2020, and then last year in 2024, I read 130 books.
Yeah, I mean,
So my love of reading has only grown dramatically in the last 5 years, but I do think part of it is I've always been a paranormal fantasy reader, and the books that I like are popular right now. So there's a lot of options for me. So I want to start first with my 5-star reads that I had. And I bet this is on your list too, Mindy, but I read The Program by Suzanne Young, and this was a really unexpected read for me because I literally judged a book by its cover. I was on a bookstore date with Mindy, and we saw it, and it was so different than I thought it was going to be because it was about suicide, and essentially the drugs they were giving kids it was creating like a viral epidemic. And it was so well written. I also read the second one that year, but I only gave it 3 stars because the author didn't really seem to know where to go next with the series after that success. It was like, I wrote this one book and that was going to be it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So another 5-star read for me that year was Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I really loved this book, and I really loved the movie when it came out too. It's really well written, but if you look into the author, she's very, very problematic.
Yeah.
So I'm not real sure she's ever going to have another book. So speaking of ACOTAR wit, I read A Court of Mist and Fury that year by Sarah J Maas.
Nice.
I had read A Court of Thorns and Roses right when it came out, which was several years before that. And like most first books in a series, I didn't like it very much. The action starts really late, and I fucking hated Tamlin. I hated him. But I had a friend actually from Craft Weekend, Kelly, who told me that A Court of Mist and Fury was one of her favorite books of all time. So I read it, and the obsession began.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Right.
yeah.
Speaking of obsessions, like I said, I read Outlander. So I read Outlander, Voyager, and Dragonfly and Amber that year. Outlander and Voyager were both 5-star reads for me, and Dragonfly was a 4-star read. And since then, I've been to Scotland, and I've been in the same room as Sam twice.
Yeah.
That was
I only got
awesome.
pregnant once, though. I'm just kidding. I have one 4-star read and one 1-star read I want to talk
Ooh.
about. So the other book I gave 4 stars in 2020 was The Sinner by J.R. Ward. I love her. I love all the characters in this book except for the main ones. And it was because I didn't feel very connected to them.
Yeah.
They were characters that hadn't been talked about for several books in advance, like most of her characters are. And I was
Right.
just like, why am I
They
supposed to
came
care
out
about this?
of nowhere, yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, my 1-star read in 2020 was Baby Teeth by Zoji Stage. It was just super pretentious. That's
I honestly would want to give it 1 star based on the title.
yeah. Yeah. It just,
I don't know anything about it.
it didn't move very fast, and I just felt like it was one of those books where, you know how sometimes people will be like, it was brilliant, and I'm like, was it brilliant because it was brilliant or because you didn't get it?
Yeah.
Right. I felt like it was one of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I cannot believe I only read 9 books that year.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But again, it was such a weird time,
Right.
right?
Yeah. And then I think the next year was 25, and then I jumped up into the hundreds after
See,
that.
what's
then it was 507.
funny is-
Yeah, right.
And again, I was in a totally different life period than you all during
Right.
COVID.
Your kids were doing school, but they didn't need hand
My
holding.
youngest was in 8th grade.
Right.
So, you know, I didn't have to help them.
You didn't have to wipe any poopy
I
butts.
did not.
I was not wiping poopy butts, by the way.
I did a lot of crafting during COVID, and I did a lot of reading. And that's when I had a Kindle, and I didn't like it. I like the feel of a regular book.
I do
But-
too. Yeah.
But I was finding myself, because I got a lot of stuff from the library at that time, and they weren't doing that. So I got a Kindle so that I could read more and like have more to read and download or whatever. So that was like my Kindle year. And then that was opened up a whole new thing. Like, oh, I finished a book in a series and I can like start the next one
Isn't
right
that
away.
the best feeling?
Yes. So I think I read quite a bit. I didn't look at how many I read, but I read quite a bit. Now I'm reading way more like you now. It definitely has grown exponentially. But I was also in an in-person book club at that time that I'd been in for several years. So a lot of these were from that as well. But I kind of put mine into categories of books that I loved and I'm still thinking about, books I didn't love or I hated, and then books that I honestly don't even remember reading. So we'll start with the books I loved. I read Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn. It was a YA holiday book, and it's set at like near a bookstore, and there's this notebook that they trade back and forth, and they dare each other to do stuff, and then they end up like they like each other or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was and it actually ended up being that year a Netflix movie. So it may come out again in the holidays. Who knows? I don't know. But it was really cute. The other one I read was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It was my first Taylor Jenkins Reid. I started out reading it as a book and wasn't loving it. And I don't do audio normally, but my friend said read it as audio because it's more of like a cast of characters. So it was a little easier to digest. And then I ended up really, really loving it. I also read the 100 series by Cass Morgan. This was a series that I'd already seen. Such a cool premise. There was 100 kids basically that everybody lived in space, but they sent them back down to Earth to like as an experiment. And it's crazy. It's definitely like it's got a little Lord of the Flies feel to it, a little bit of just like survival. It was such a cool series. The books I didn't
because
love.
it was called The 100 on TV. Right?
It was on the CW.
It was on the CW.
Yes.
Yep, that's right.
So that's what it was. Yeah. So yeah, that was the CW heyday.
Yeah.
And a lot of kind of YA and 20-something things were on there. But anyway, I actually really liked the series better than the books. But in general, I didn't like how either of them ended. So, but I did really enjoy them. So they were ones that have stuck with me. I also was catching up with Black Dagger Brotherhood up through the center. So I think it was probably like 5 of them that I read. And I also read the entire Black Dagger Legacy series.
Oh yeah, those
which
are
was
good
like a
too.
little spin-off.
I'm
of
sad
it.
that she didn't keep writing
I know,
those. I liked them.
I really enjoyed those as well. The other one I read that was a 5-star read for me was Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crowley. This is a second chance romance set in a bookshop where letters are exchanged through books. So it's very similar to Dash and Lily. But the bookstore is it's a family bookstore and it's getting ready to not do well. Like they're trying to save it. He's about to lose it. Anyway, it was a really, really sweet. I love anything set in a bookstore usually. I mean, it has to be written well or whatever, but I will pick up a book if it's set in a bookstore because I'm drawn to those.
Because it's a happy place.
It is a happy place. I also had The Program by Suzanne Young on here. Just another one that I still think about frequently. And then finally, I had Una Out of Order, which is by Margarita Montemor.
I didn't read until the following year, which I loved.
And I just loved this book. I still think about it. It's a crazy book with a very jumbled timeline. The heroine wakes up every new year in a different year of her life, but it's not in order.
Not in sequence.
Yeah, so it's like
out of order.
It's out of order. Like
she's mentally the same age, but not physically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and she can remember the years that she's already, but like sometimes she, when she's 21 and she's 25, but she can't remember in between those.
Right.
So it's very cool, a very cool concept, and I do love where it ended up. It's one to make you think for sure. Then I had 2 books that I didn't love / hated. This first one, so this one was in my in real life book club, and I will never forget because we were doing what's it called? Zoom. Thank you.
I was like, I don't know.
So we were meeting via Zoom, and we had a lot because everybody had plenty of time to do stuff.
Right.
So we had like 12 people on here, and everybody's like, I loved this book. It's called The Murmur of Bees by Sophia Segovia.
I remember this.
God, I fucking hated that book.
I liked it.
Everybody loved it. Everybody loved this book. And I come
Except
to me
for
and I'm
Mindy.
like, this book sucked. I hated it so much. I trudged through that book. I don't know what it was about it. It's historical fiction, which is part of the problem.
It just wasn't for you.
Okay, you may have just solved an issue for me because I definitely read that book with you. Why isn't it on my Goodreads?
I don't know.
I was in book club with you at that point, wasn't I?
I think so.
Oh, I don't suck as bad as I thought I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe I only tracked the books I really loved or hated.
Maybe, yeah.
Which is what I would have talked about anyway. So.
If it was just meh, then
Yeah, I remember liking that book.
Yeah, I still lament about this book. I'm like, I'm mad that I was made to read
That
it.
was one of the first times you and I didn't like a book together. And it is kind of when we both started like veering away from the same exact likes, which is great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do love that we still love some of the same things.
Of
But I
course.
don't know. I was definitely the outlier, that one. I will never forget. Everybody loved that book except me. I think I put it as my least favorite at the end of the year, and I think it won most favorite, but whatever. Then the other one I read was We Ride Upon Sticks by Quan Berry, and I read this because somebody handed it to me, and it was about field hockey. And my daughter was very heavily involved in field hockey at the time. It was so fucking weird. I don't know. The premise was cool. Like, it's these girls and they're on this terrible field hockey team, and then they do this like weird like seance thing kind of, or like some kind of like
a spell.
Something. Yeah. And they think that it's helping them, but like one of the characters ends up with like teeth growing out of her neck. Like this is an actual like affliction where you get like other body parts growing it was so fucking weird. I like weird, but this was a little too much for me. Yeah.
Beyond the pale.
And then these books, if anybody's read them and can tell me why I even picked them up. That'd be great. So I do not remember reading these books. A Wild Swan and Other Tales by Michael Cunningham. That was not a book club book, so I don't know what it was about that book that made me pick it up. Somebody must have said you should read this. I didn't love it, so whatever. Recommended for You by Laura Silverman. I don't even know what that one was about.
Maybe you thought it was talking directly to you. Like, hey, that was recommended for me.
Maybe. Again, I can't tell you anything about these books because I do not remember them. Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. I kind of remember this one. I think two of them or one of them was a movie star. Again, that's about all I know.
I can picture the cover of that book.
It's black and red, I think, maybe. I don't know. And then finally, Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I think this is a YA book, and I was really into YA at one point, but I don't remember Today, Tonight, or Tomorrow. I was just really, I thought it was funny that all those books I don't remember.
Yeah.
And some of them I wasn't really into rating and stuff as much. So I didn't, like some of those weren't even starred. So I don't.
Just marked as read.
Clearly, I didn't care that much about them.
Well, not every book is for everybody.
No. But yeah, I definitely read a lot that year. And again, I think it's just because I was in a different life stage.
For sure. Well, lots of books that you can add to your TBR or
not.
Yeah, or not. That brings us to our nerdiest thing of the week. And I can start us off. This is another Whitney's being awkward story. So we had a big event at school and there was a mom that was volunteering that hadn't seen me in a while. And I look a little different than I did like last school year. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, Whitney, I didn't recognize you. Like, you look great." And I was like, "Thanks." And she just like kept saying things. And I was really uncomfortable because I was like, I don't really know what to do or say.
Stop making comments about my body.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what I did was I struck a pose and I put one hand on my hip and I put the other hand behind my head and I just stood there while she talked.
Like you do.
While she was like, "You look so great." And I was like, "Thanks." And just stood there like that.
When Madonna said to strike a pose,
That's not what she meant. Yeah.
What she meant. Yeah.
And I was just like, "Thanks so much." And then I walked away.
That reminds me of our friend Holly who curtsied to a guy one time.
Yes, like that is me. That is a classic Whitney move. But then I did it and I was telling Robbie about it later and my oldest was like, "That is the weirdest thing you've ever done." And that's
No, it's
really,
not.
he goes, "That's really saying something." What about you, Deb? What was your nerdiest thing of the week?
So did you know on Etsy there are people that sell little hand-drawn iPhone icons?
I did not
You know this?
No.
So I bought a little fall pack of all the, like, you can change out like your Instagram icon. Really every icon on your phone you can change out. So right now, like my little Facebook icon, it has an F, but it's got like little leaves and stuff.
Oh,
around
that's
it.
So it's like
cute.
a digital drawn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
And so I will
a good
say,
idea.
though, you
love
get
that.
very used to what your icons look like.
And then you're like, where the fuck is my
right,
Facebook?
Even though it's in the same place, I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
taking a little bit of getting used to, but I'm probably going to buy Christmas ones and change
I
them
love
out.
that.
It's-
I would
that's cute.
struggle with that though, too.
It's not as easy as they make it sound to change them out.
To switch them
for
out.
the record.
Yeah. Yeah.
So only like
You
a
know,
third
they
of mine
may
are
not
done.
even work on mine because I don't have an iPhone.
Yeah, I don't know if she does Android ones or not. These are definitely iPhone ones. Yeah, but they're really cute.
Very cute.
I like
love
that idea.
A little piece of joy.
I think
Yeah,
that's a
right?
great idea.
Yeah. It's cute. What about you, Mindy?
Mine is, I'm going to see, this is for tomorrow actually, I'm going to see Toad the Wet Sprocket, which is a 90s band, which might also just be the nerdiest band name ever. So this is a band that I saw play in college, at a college that wasn't my college. And
How many times can you say college?
one more time. And I'm going with two of my friends from college.
Oh, nice.
So it's very much a nostalgic trip for me. I'm very
Yeah.
excited about it. There's some other bands that are Vertical Horizon and KT Tunstall are opening, and they're also like
fun.
90s bands. And I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be fun. It's in Lexington. I'm meeting my friends up there, and it'll be fun.
Nice.
It'll be a good time.
Well, that's fun. Well, that's it for this
Yeah.
week. Make sure you listen in to our Thursday book club episodes where we are discussing Throne of Glass. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Like what you heard in this episode? Follow Our Nerdiest Thing on Instagram at instagram.com/Our Nerdiest Thing or Facebook at facebook.com/Our Nerdiest Thing. We love hearing from fellow nerds. Email us at ournerdiestthing@gmail.com.